give you an overview of the Quarry Bay School Mandarin program. So the way we're going to present, Sue will speak to you briefly in a moment because she leads the Mandarin team in terms of the curriculum area of the school. Xiaoping, thank you very much for coming tonight. Xiaoping's here, and he's going to speak to you all, everybody. And then Catherine, our head of Mandarin, will finish the program, and then we'll have questions at the end of the session. Of course, as we're going through, if you do want to ask something, please do raise your hand. But we thought if we structure it like that, we can have general discussion at the end of the presentation. Okay, so I just want to say thank you so much. This is another part of our Parents as Partners strategy to inform you and to communicate with you about the curriculum and the way children are engaged in their learning at school. We understand that the Mandarin program always interests parents because it's such an important part of the children's learning longer term. It's a very important language for children now in terms of their long-term future and access to jobs or professions further down the track. So for us tonight, we hope you walk away with a deeper understanding of what you can realistically expect from the ESF Mandarin program and how QBS Mandarin program works. Okay, so I'll hand over to Sue, and I'm going to take some photographs with some of the other staff during the presentation.
That's what I'm Thank you, Mina. Well, welcome everybody. It's nice to see everyone here this evening. It might be a bit strange for you to think, well, why does somebody who looks so Western actually heads up the Mandarin department? To give you a little bit of a context, I've been in Hong Kong longer than I was in the UK. I've been here for about 25 years. My husband actually is Chinese, and both my children look absolutely nothing like me at all. They've both been through ESF education process, and they both, to some degree, speak Mandarin. My daughter a lot better than my son, but I don't know whether that's a girl-boy thing. However, I do understand as a parent the process that children go through in languages. I'm a PYP workshop leader, and therefore I'm very familiar with the language scope and sequence under the PYP. And in our school, we look at the language scope and sequence in English, and of course, because it's a language, Mandarin too. I can't say that I'm brilliant at speaking Mandarin, although the Chinese department were laughing at me when I was using my Mandarin app on my phone, learning the numbers and whatever. But I have a passion for China, as Xiaoping knows, because he lets me come on the Beijing trip every year and learn as much as I possibly can. So even though I look European, I think a lot of my heart is Chinese, obviously, and I'm very passionate about the development of language and Mandarin in our school. And I'm really looking forward to this year and the exciting new way forward to raise the profile of Mandarin at QBS. So thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, Vida. Thanks, Sue, and thanks to the Chinese Department, Pat, Head, and Steve operating the machine, and Ling taking photos, and Vicky standing there. I know this department so well. Okay, as Sue was saying, that she probably got a lot more Chinese in her heart, and she's one of those people that can call it an egg, and me, you can call me a banana. Yellow outside, white inside, and she's white outside, yellow inside. So I don't know who is inside, who is outside. Anyway, let's start it. And so, actually, before I start anything serious, I'd like to say something like a family member. You chose to come to ESF Quarry School, and we're proud of our schools. There's one thing I need to talk to you about is that we have a neighboring school, Chinese International, I must say. Well, very different. I was there for 3 years as a director of Chinese at Chinese International, so I know that school throughout. That is bilingual school, or nowadays they call them dual language school. And you know why they changed from from bilingual to dual language? Because the promise made to the parents at the very beginning was very hard to meet. That is, for all these 13 years of bilingual education, it's very difficult to produce genuine native speakers from non-native speakers. In other words, if there's no family background of Chinese, it's difficult to get to the native standard through 13 years of education in Chinese. As a matter of fact, once I spent one whole Sunday with a potential parent. Actually, he was looking for Quarry Bay. I had difficulty convincing him why his son Andrew, this is a young lawyer from UK, and he was monolingual. He made decision that he was not going to make his son monolingual like himself. So he really wanted his son to be bilingual, Chinese and English. And then I really had difficulty convincing him. He invited me to tea, I invited him to lunch, and he invited me to afternoon tea. So the dialogue went on and on and on. Because there are many factors I don't have time to go through, but I can simply tell you from my own experience, it is very difficult to become a genuine bilingual person. I mean, not just a street conversation, but you have to be bilingual, equally eloquent in 2 languages, equal literacy, which means you can read Chinese literature and English literature and write literature critique. And by numeracy, you can do math and science in both languages. Imagine how many people do know of this standard. No, there are not many. So I must say, we do not promise we are bilingual school, and we are not bilingual school. So ESF is an organization providing quality English education, and on top of that, we wanted to do a very strong, a very practical Chinese program. So if you think you can buy English education at the same time, get Chinese to the same level, I don't think it's the right concept. That's what I call to buy one, get one free. There's no such thing as free lunch in the world. Actually, Chinese is very hard. It is more expensive than any other languages. The Department of Defense of the United States, they run language schools. They train spies. On their curriculum, they give 3 times more time for Chinese than other languages, like Spanish or French. So their training was very hard, very strenuous, but very effective. And they recruit people, the people stay in the language camp for about 2 years, and they send these people to Hong Kong and China to be spies. But they need 3 times or 3 more times than other languages to reach the same standard. And that's published, you can search that on the website. But it doesn't mean that our children cannot reach a certain level. So here is the end we're going to look at. So you can go to the next slide. Now, this is what we're going to do in year 13, or your kids are going to do in 13, if they choose to carry on. By the way, at the moment, we have about 60% students